Hey everyone, Adam here. So in this video, I want to talk about my goals for 2023. Now, there's going to be many lessons I guess, put together into this video. Hopefully I can articulate these in some sort of coherent manner because there's a lot I want to cover. But on top of that, I also want to point out that the recording of this video is mid-October, and you might be asking, like, well, why are you talking about 2023 goals when it is mid-October? And that will actually be one of the main lessons of this video that I'll get into later. Now, before we dive into all of that craziness, I did want to quickly mention an update, and this does fall into one of my goals of 2023, specifically about my videos. Now, I was trying to do a video every 2 weeks, and that is no longer sustainable for me. I've got a lot that I would love to say. Not everyone wants to hear what I have to say, but I have a lot that I do like to say. And again, as I've talked about this in the past in many of my videos, I find it helpful for me to kind of put my thoughts out there best I can to try to articulate things. I'm not always great at it, but I do find it helpful for me. And I also wanted a repository of videos for my kids in case something happened to me. Those have been my two main drives with all of this. And then the third one was, as I've mentioned, if this happens to help someone else out, then that's great as well, right? If some random person happens to stumble across one of my videos and it's remotely helpful for them, okay, that's a win. But that's not the main goal at all. And so what I have realized as my kids are getting older is that I do not want to sacrifice time with my kids to make these videos, right? It's like, oh, I'm making, if one of my goals is to make these videos for my kids in case something happens to me, but I am putting all of that into for something that may or may not happen, right? If I have an early death or if, whatever happens, then to me, that just seems very pointless and one-sided to give up the present, which is spending time with my kids, for this insurance policy of something that may happen or may not happen in the future. And so the point is it's very much a balance. I feel like I have a decent enough repository of my videos. At least the kids can see some of my thoughts. Look, it's not nearly as good or as awesome as I want it. I would love to build it up even more, but I don't want to sacrifice that for time with my kids, with my wife, or quite frankly, me time. There are a lot of things that I want to do. Like I enjoy fitness. I enjoy getting out and doing bike riding and all these other things. So in the end, this is a long way of saying that it is very much a balance. And I've taken the time to recalibrate. So one of my goals in 2023 is to release 12 videos. That's it. Instead of trying to do 24, which would end up being like every 2 weeks, I am basically going to do it, just release 12 a year. And I want the flexibility where all 4 could come in the first part of the month, not do anything, and then maybe the next 8 come at the end of the year. Who knows? So I'm not going to have a set schedule. The goal is to slowly build up my repository of videos to make it sustainable. And one of my goals for 2023 is just to release 12 videos. All right, so let's dive into it. Let's talk about goals, my goals for 2023, and how this could potentially help you. For me, a couple of takeaways that I guess I want to try to get across in this video is, one, figure out the things that you want to do. My advice, so you don't get overwhelmed, you can see here for my goals. I'm using a software called TickTick. I've talked about this in the past. I really like this for task management and figuring out actionable things I want to do. There are lots of to-do lists out there. I'm not, whatever, use whatever you want. For me, I use this first, and it's pretty powerful. And so that's why I personally use it, but I'm not endorsing it or anything like that. Another good one is, if you want other options, is Todoist. I think I haven't personally used it, but I think that's another option. Anyway, as far as goal setting, one of the things that I find exceedingly helpful is to try to keep it between, I don't know, like 3 to 7 major goals that you want to accomplish. So if I get these 5 items done by the end of 2023, I will feel like, man, I have just accomplished so much. Now, some of these are really fairly substantial projects or goals that I am trying to achieve. But having a small list like this, I particularly have 5 items, makes it feel like it's achievable, right? Like I open this up and I'm like, oh, okay, I can manage this. Again, they're fairly big, and I'm gonna have to parse these out. They're gonna take a while, but the main theme for 2023 feels very manageable. So let's talk about them. I've talked about building my second brain. You can see I've also put in sub steps here. Now, be careful with subtasks. So for me, I'm okay with dividing these into the 7 subtasks for this particular project. If this still overwhelms you for getting, that project done, for example, like if you're like, oh my gosh, like this still feels very, very overwhelming, break it down into smaller tasks, right? I've talked about this multiple times. But I would caution you, don't break it down into so many subtasks that you're spending all of your time developing subtasks and not actually doing anything, right? Like realistically, there's probably like 300, if I really wanted to, I could probably break this down into 300 subtasks, right? If I really, really thought about it. But for me, that would be a complete waste of time, and it would take away from actually mapping out and building my second brain. The other thing too, as far as this going to completion, I talked about, I'm trying to do it strategically. So I may not have this completed by 2023, but I want a majority of it, or at least the files and folders that I am using most, migrated to this system, this new system that I have developed. Okay. So, this is a great guide for so I'm using these goals as a great overarching guide of what I should be doing between now and 2023. And that's my second point. I think I'm on my second point. That's my second point. Notice I said now. It is mid-October that I'm recording this, and I am actively working on my 2023 goals. I am a firm believer that I do not need January 1st to start this list. As soon as I came up with this list, I immediately began working on it. And again, the overall idea is to have this completed by 2023. It isn't start this in 2023. And I'm very much a firm believer, once you come up with a goal or a project, the best time to start is immediately. If you decide that you're going to start eating healthy, don't wait for after the holidays. Don't wait for after your birthday or whatever it happens to be. Start now. That is the best advice I can give when you're trying to do these goals. Now, again, I can hear someone complaining about this advice, saying that, maybe in regards to a computer, if you decide you're going to get a new computer and all of a sudden you're rushing to buy that new computer today and the new computer's coming out in a month and you didn't wait. Look, you have use a little bit of common sense when I'm giving you this advice. In certain situations, maybe a date is appropriate when you start a project. But for the most part, if it can be started now and there's no consequence to not starting it now, start it now. Okay, so this other goal I have is I want to read Rebuilding Milo. It looks like it's a physical therapy type book. It goes through all the body systems, all the exercises that you should be doing, and how everything is interconnected. Basically, as I go through my fitness journey and as I am aging, I've had a little bit of issues with my left shoulder, nothing major yet, but I don't want it to become something major. And I've probably been overusing my right knee slightly with running. It's probably an imbalance with my body. I have terrible posture. I should be stretching more. I know the things that I need to do. But I want to do that strategically. And so I'm already in the process of stretching these areas out. I haven't been great, but actually we can look at my habit tracker here. I actually have stretching and I have shoulder mobility. As you can see, 40% for this month, not the best, but it is something that I am logging and keeping track of, and it's something that I know I have to do. So I've already made this actionable, but by the end of 2023, I would like to make it more strategic, and I need to gain knowledge of, better stretches I could be doing, what might be going on with my shoulder. It feels much better now, or my knee. Is it an imbalance thing? How can I strengthen this? And this looks like an excellent resource, this book called Rebuilding Milo, to do just that. And it's going to be dense. It's going to be a lot of work to read through it. I'm really going to have to take my time and research a lot of things as I am reading it. I've already anticipated that. I'm also going to do that strategically because I have slight knee pain when I overrun. I know it's an overrun. I suspect that anyway. When I overrun and shoulder, those are the two chapters I'm going to start out with first. All right? Because those are the things that are causing me the most issues at the moment, right? I don't have back issues yet, knock on wood. Hopefully I don't. But so those are the chapters I am going to start out with, okay? I would like to get through the whole book. I haven't written it down here, but the two goals, the two areas that I have to do or I want to do before the end of 2023 is the chapter on shoulder mobility or shoulders and knee. Redo end of life video. This is a video that I've created for my kids. I want to redo it. Basically, it just gives me life advice and me just, chatting like I'm chatting to you, only more focused for probably like an hour and a half. My goal with that, and that also helps with the videos for Learning Simply Living. These videos that I do, I don't feel as much pressure because I have this end of life video for my kids. I don't feel as much pressure. It's taken a lot of pressure off of me feeling like I have to release one of these videos like every week or something like that. Because I know I have this other video that's just for my kids, an insurance policy, if you will, that they can remember me by, that gives them tons and tons of advice. May not be great advice, but it is advice and kind of like how I have seen the world and all the knowledge and experience that I have gained and that I am passing along. I think I recorded this video 3 years ago. It's not the best quality. It was during COVID. My kids were at home. The audio was terrible. Anyway, I want to redo it. And then I'll probably, after I redo it, because it's good enough at its current state, but it can be much better. So once I get it much better, hopefully, with better audio, better everything, then that might be something that I update every 5 years or something like that. But that is something that I want to have completed by end of 2023. This is a great goal to share with you guys because this is probably a terrible way of articulating this goal. So let me explain. I just wrote this goal out. I want to get my weight down to 150 pounds. I am not really overweight at all. I'm definitely a healthy weight. I think I could be healthier. And what I'm really looking to do is I want to make sure that I'm feeling still healthy and good. So if I push down my body fat too low, I recognize that there's probably a point where I'm pushing that too low, and maybe I'm not feeling well or as good as I can because I've pushed that body fat percentage way too low, right? From what I understand, at a certain point for men at least, Maybe you're not producing as much testosterone, your sex drive goes down, because, your body might be in survival mode because you're like, you're down that comfort level of where you're that homeostasis of where your body's like, yeah, you do well with this much body fat. But so I want to take this slow, and I want to do this in a manner in which is hopefully like I'm being cognizant of the potential side effects that may occur as I try to lose weight. And I'm not fixated on the lose weight. I'm just using it hopefully as a surrogate to get my body percentage down to around 12%. Then I want to see how I feel. And I'm hoping once I get my body percentage down to like 10 or 12%, if that is possible for me and still feeling good, that will help lower my blood pressure. And it will also help reduce fasting glucose levels and my A1C. They're normal, but I would consider them higher than I would like normal. So that is something that I want to actively work on. I think this might be a good surrogate to at least, as I said, getting down to 150 pounds or trending down to that. Right now I weigh around 158 pounds. When I was in New York City, I weighed like 155 pounds, and I felt really good at that weight. So we'll see. So you can see how I kind of have separated this out. By April, I want to be down to 154 pounds. By August, 152, and then December, 150 pounds. So again, I want to try to take this very slowly. I want to listen to my body as I do this. And the overall goal really is to lower blood pressure, fasting glucose, and my A1C. So that is my overall goal. And I'm hoping getting the weight down to 150 pounds moves me towards these goals of blood pressure, fasting glucose, and A1C. So we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned. If I'm not ravenously hungry, and two, and also how I feel. We'll see. So that is very much a work in progress. And then here we go. My main other goal that we talked about in the beginning of this video is my videos for this channel is I want to just basically upload 12 videos by the end of 2023. I don't know when they're going to come in. This will help me with flexibility if I have 2 months that are crazy busy in my life where I just can't get to this project. I'm not going to be stressed out about it, and hopefully this is a sustainable and realistic goal where I can do my 12 videos, build up that library of my videos and my thoughts at a sustainable clip. So we'll see. These are all of my goals for 2023. So, I guess to sum this up again, I guess the main points are try to keep your goals realistic. Try to keep your goals, your overall goals for the year in such a way that basically points you in the direction of the life that you want to go. And keep those goals or ideas, I don't have a specific number, but I would say anywhere between 3 to 7 is probably a good place to start where you're not overwhelmed. If you tend to get overwhelmed very easily, keep it to 3. If you think you can handle a little bit more and you have big, you're that type A personality where you get a lot accomplished, maybe you bump that up to 7. But I think that's a pretty decent starting place to kind of map things out and see what you want to do for the next year. And by the way, this is something new I'm trying for 2023. I've never really been much of a goal setter in this like long-term thinking. But I wanted to try it out because I want to see if this helps me guide me in trying to figure out like what I should be doing for 2023. So we'll see. This is, also an experiment for me. So very much a work in progress. So anyway, that's pretty much what I have for setting long-term goals. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.